Welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life. I'm your host, Hannah Nuss, and each weekday we'll share enthusiasm for what's possible and dive into the stories of Iowans living their dream lives right here in the heartland. Whether you're chasing a big goal or just looking for a little inspiration, we've got you covered. Let's change the world together. This is Living the Dream Iowa Life. Let's go. Heyo, welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life podcast. Tra-la-la. It's such a great day. Great day to be alive. Make sure that you are doing your grounding work. I actually mixed two things. Usually I am laying in my bed, and I will take time to meditate and sort of pray and be thankful for this life that I get to live. This active gratitude practice, I'll just sort of be praying and thinking and placing those people in my thoughts. And not today. No, I don't know if I forgot or I fell back asleep or what. But then when I went outside and I was grounding, which is literally take my shoes off, place my feet on the ground, look up at the stars. And usually I'm just looking at the stars. And sometimes I'm thinking, actually most of the time, I'm thinking, oh, wow, I really hope that my neighbors don't come out because it's super weird to just be standing on the side of my house staring up at the stars at 3 a.m. Like, that would be a weird thing to stumble upon if you were just kind of shuffling to your car to get to whatever you might be getting to at 3 a.m. It'd be weird if someone was just standing there kind of in a mountain pose, just looking up at the stars. Because it's completely dark. I am just standing and looking at the stars with no shoes on, just grounding and looking at the stars. And so today, instead of letting myself wonder about what my neighbors might think if they find out that I am a strange star seeker, what will they think? Like, if my neighbors have not figured out that we are not a normal neighbor set, then they probably aren't paying that much attention anyways, and they definitely aren't waking up at 3 a.m. and caring at all about what I am doing with my shoes on or off. Like, they're good. And so instead of thinking about that, I did my gratitude, and it was so like opening and wonderful and delicious, and this beautiful just warmth washes over my entire body. I'm just standing there in the earth, just staring up at the stars, thinking about how grateful I am for the people in my life, for this life, for our home, for our family and friends, for each individual person within my home. And then for a second, I was like, I am grateful for myself. And then I thought, well, that's a weird thing. I don't know that I've ever been grateful for that. I take a lot of time to be grateful for everyone else and for what a blessing my life is. And I don't, again, when am I going to write myself into that narrative? When am I thankful for myself and grateful for who I am and what I do and how I show up? When do I do that? When am I me? When do I stand in that truth? When am I in this story? And so I get through grounding, and it is so wild how you can feel the energy kind of coursing through your body after you do that every time. So I do recommend starting the day with that. It is a beautiful way, even if your neighbors might think you're a little wild. If you do it I suppose if you don't do it in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., it might not be as strange. Regardless, the most important thing was, holy cow, why have I never been thankful for myself? I am so thankful for everyone else, but I am and need to be very grateful for myself and for what I have done in this life. And certainly there are universal forces that are pushing us towards everything, and most things are divine. But at the same time, we can sleep through a lot of those calls. And I did for a very long time. And one day I woke up and I don't know that I've ever been grateful to myself for waking up, for engaging in this life, for going on this journey. And then I sat down and read for a little bit. And then I journaled. And in my journal, I wrote something about, why am I so fearful of abandoning others that I will readily abandon myself in service, in fear of abandonment of anyone else. And I think that there is definitely this sort of, obviously, we are coming up on the completion of the Green Book, and I am running as fast and as far as I can away from finishing it because I know what it means. It means that we're stepping into the next level. It means that we're moving on to the Blue Book. It means that the Green chapter is close, and I know we have had a surgeons like, are we going to do it? Are we not? Are we? Yeah? Yeah? And every yoga practice that I go to is like, just heart opening exercises. Yep, every single one. It's like, okay, open that back up, and I'm starting to feel into that, and I'm waking that heart muscle back up, waking that chakra back up, and I know that it's time. And yet I'm like, but is it? Is it? Does it have to be? Doesn't someone else need me? Isn't there something that I need to abandon? Myself? Isn't there someone that might abandon me if I don't fully answer all of their needs before even acknowledging that I have any of my own? Isn't there something else that we can run towards? Isn't there something else? Isn't there a bigger call? I can't selfishly write and focus on my own work. I can't do that. I need to be of service. And I certainly do. But again, for who? And for me first, right? And I know that sounds terrible to say. Me first. Me first. Me first. I have this list of things that I have to do, that I feel called to do, that I want to do. I would like to finish the 5 books by the end of this year. Okay, let me restate that. I am going to finish 5 books by the end of this year, my 5 books. And in order to do that, I have to create space. Sacred space. Uninterruptible space. Right? And it is this balance, this root need to it's kind of conflicting, because at the same time that we crave freedom, we have to have discipline in order to experience that freedom fully. And there's like, I am experiencing the time freedom, but I'm not experiencing the abundant, prosperous freedom, which is like the next level. And to get to that next level, there has to be this, it's not all free. And it's okay to have structure. And I think my mom, love her, she created such a beautiful way for me to exist in this life. But I think she's the hardest on the structure. I mean, listen, I was definitely the 8-year-old that had a schedule for my clothing. I was the athlete that had a different bag for everything that I did. Like, structure is something that I understand because I think I understood even early on that if I'm not wasting my time thinking about what I need to wear every day, I get so much more time. Time to think and wonder and imagine and explore. Like, why am I obsessing about this for so long? It is just this outfit. On Sundays, it is the orange skirt with the flower zipper with the orange striped mock neck zip down. Yeah. That's the vibe for Sunday because we're going to church. We need to look a little bit nice. And I was also the kid that showered every morning. That was just a part of my routine. That was how I moved in this world. And I believe that I will get back there because there has been too much abandonment in this story, too much jump to anything that keeps me from the work. And so maybe that is the question today. It's like, how often are you abandoning yourself? Ooh. You know, and I can just track my own week here. And I could go hour by hour and say, ooh, I abandoned myself there. Ooh, I didn't stay structured in how much time that needed to take there. And it sort of bled into the rest of my day. Ugh. No. And for what? For nothing. There was nothing. There was no positive, net positive end result. What was driving that? The fear that if I didn't do this for this person, I don't even know. I don't even know what was going to happen. Like, I don't even know what the fear is based on. They were going to abandon me? I don't know. If I didn't give them everything that I had, if I didn't give them more time than I had to give them, if I didn't stay in this conversation that's just looping, if I didn't do whatever they needed, I didn't think at all about what it was that I needed, about what it was that maybe my kids needed from me, about how important it is for me to be able to be a strong, great caregiver for them, that is one of the ways that I love myself, by giving myself time and space to do that. Because that is one of the ways that I love myself, is letting myself love the people that I care about. And I didn't think about that. I just was like, yeah, what do you need? Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yep, I can probably figure that out. Yep, and even as I say yes, I'm going through all of these ways. How is this going to disrupt? This is going to disrupt this. This is going to hurt this. This is going to sacrifice that. That is not going to work out. That is going to scrunch everything into this small, teeny, tiny little time. And why am I scrunching myself? Why am I so expansive and ready and abundant and willing for everyone else? And then I go, okay, well, because I just let that bleed into whenever, whatever, wherever, because I just let it happen. Now, everything that I do for the rest of the day has to sort of shrink and fit into this window of, I don't like, sacrifice, this tiny window of availability. So now I have to quickly love myself. Doesn't work. Now I have to quickly try to nurture and take care of everyone else. Doesn't work. Now I have to quickly manage and shuffle my schedule around. Now I have to quickly get ready. And I don't get to look the way that I wanted to look today. And that doesn't matter, but it does. It does matter. I do enjoy like looking cute and quaint and honestly, totally stealing these words from someone in my retreat, but like, I just want to look lovely. I want people to see me and just go, oh, what a lovely person. That's lovely. They just dress lovely in light. How lovely. How wonderful. Right? Because our clothes, the way that we exist, the way that we care for ourselves, that is a reflection of who we are inside. And I want to be lovely. I don't need to be gorgeous or slender, or because I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, I always withhold food. And I was thinking, why though? Like, why? And I do want to have a structure, make sure that I'm getting enough food into my body and brain to fuel it properly, no question. But yesterday, the big battle was like, okay, sometimes I am in a rush and I do need kind of rush foods that are like, okay, I just whipped this sandwich together. But because, like, oh, no, we can't have rush foods because those are not good for you. It's like, but not good for me actually is eating out because I am so rushed. Better for me is having these things on hand so that I can make them myself and at least eat the handmade instead of like the full release of all the different oils and the way that these things are prepared. Like, at least I know what this is made of and there's not that like deeper fried existence. Okay? Isn't that better? Yeah. And so I'm debating at the grocery store and then I'm like, I don't need to be this like super muscular cut, strict human being. I just want to be lovely and I want to love my body and I want to love my existence and I want to love eating food because I really do. And I want to love what I'm putting into my body and I want to experience it. And yeah. And I don't know that I have to have all of these restrictions because I don't have this like goal of having this really strict, structured body. Like, that is not on my radar of things that matter to me in this world. I think that it's very important that I have a healthy, strong body, but someone who has a healthy, strong body probably just lets themselves eat, and like eat enough that there isn't a strain on those muscular systems or a strain on my brain. And food is always kind of a point of contention for me. Severe eating disorder through college and a lot of food issues underlying growing up and then definitely in college. And so it is sort of this ultimate nurturing act. And yesterday I got groceries and I was like, what sounds lovely? What sounds lovely to just have on hand in my fridge? What would be lovely to be able to make myself and my kids for lunch, for breakfast? What would be great to have? Not what would be the best option, what would be the healthiest option. Like, what would just let me live a little more simply right now, because I'm not really in a structured enough place to have all of these foods on hand, because it's almost play. Okay, so my kids are in a play. And so every night of the week, I am not home. I am taking them to the play, and then I am doing yoga and going to the library and getting groceries like I did yesterday. I'm kind of captive for that time. And so I'm not at home able to like clean and keep things moving forward in the direction. I'm not buying groceries the way we normally would be. I'm not home prepping every night and cleaning out containers and making sure that everything stays kind of in the flow that needs to happen in order for everything else to keep on happening. I'm not in that flow right now. And so yesterday I just practiced this idea of letting myself off the hook, like not forcing myself to be perfect, letting myself, and this week definitely has been that, like, it's okay that you don't have this all figured out yet. You'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. And so then I was like, okay, at the grocery store, what would be lovely, but what would also help me kind of get there? You know, what would just keep us fed this week? Fed and full and not having to stress about that. And maybe 2-3 weeks from now, we can be in this stellar place where all the food is prepped and like we're mastering that and we're on it and we're perfect in it. But in this season right now, there's too much being added and not enough sort of in this home place where I can provide that consistent experience. And that's okay. I know. Did you hear me? That's okay. That's okay. This week, we can just be lovely. We can just let ourselves be okay with being okay. We are ahead of plan. We are ahead of schedule. We're good. We're good. We got time to figure these things out. And then I made myself sit this morning and sort of practice go hour by hour and figure out what would not abandoning myself look like. And what kind of time do I need for that? And where am I giving away time that I want back so that I can better structure myself, my days, my time? And, you know, I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. Because I was talking about changing the shop hours and figuring that out. And I was like, oh no, I can't. Here's why. Here's all the reasons why I can't do that. I can't change the hours like that. I can't do that. I can't. Then it's like, but you absolutely could. And why are we so fearful? And when I say we, I mean me. But sometimes when I include all of you, it makes me not feel like I'm alone in this. So I say we, like, yeah, we all have this. It may just be me. You might be going, do not put me in your pocket. I am not feeling any of that. Why do I so readily abandon myself? Throw up those sacred hours as if for sacrifice, out of fear that if I don't give everyone everything that they're asking for in every moment of every day, then maybe they won't like me anymore. If I don't sacrifice myself and my needs, maybe they won't care about me anymore. Maybe I'm not worthy of love unless I am giving everything that I have to everyone else. Maybe that's the fear. Maybe I'm not worthy of love unless I'm working as hard as I possibly can. Maybe I'm not worthy of love and ease and abundance if I'm not sacrificing every ounce of energy that I have in this life. Maybe I'm not worthy of anyone's praise if I didn't kill myself to get there. But none of that is true. And the interesting thing is, people mold, they shift right along with you and your needs. And the ones that really matter are going to understand. And I have gotten to experience so many beautiful people who have understood and put in very direct barriers. And every time that it happened, every time that they were like, oh no, I could not do that, I remember in my gut thinking, that is amazing. To know your no. And I feel like my no is a little fluid right now. That I need to better get to know my no. I need to know my no a little bit more. No, that does not work here. And really, the only time that I am super structured with my no is when it comes to my kids' schedules. Like, no, we couldn't do that because they have this. Like, well, what do I have? And because I'm an entrepreneur, right? Like, the beautiful thing about what I do is the freedom and the molding and the ability to kind of amoeba through this life. But it isn't that. And it can't be in order to sort of reach this level of success. Like, there have to be some sacred hours. And I definitely have that from a personal standpoint. Like, this is my morning. This is uninterruptible. This has got to happen in order for me to be fully me. But in my day, other than knowing that I need to be in this physical spot from this time to this time, everything else is sort of too fluid. I don't know the no yet around that. And I need to. It is time. This is the year of knowing. 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 No. This is the year of no. And so finding what that knowing is and knowing where everything lives is vital. And creating space for it to exist is the most important. So, the reflection on that, where are you abandoning yourself? And I can think of 1,000,001 places. And I do think it sort of stems from this fear of abandonment, but also too much structure, not enough freedom. And I have realized time and time again, and I don't know why I'm always running from the lesson, is that structure gives freedom. It allows you to be fully present wherever you are. It's when we don't have those structure. We don't have those boundaries. We don't know our no. That things get super wish-washy and we're free, but we're bound. We are stuck because we don't have those spaces for everything to live, and everything just kind of washes into everything. And there is no real movement that can happen in that fluidity. Like, it's just water, it's just spreading in no particular way. Like, we need to be taking steps. We can't do that as water. We can't do that in abandonment. We can't do that when we don't know our no. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.